hire Oshawa character that definitely isn't just a stand-in for Osha waves. Do you have any cool magic builds I could do? Unfortunately, Big Don Tom, the best I can offer you is stones. The fuck do you mean stones? Stones! What is up, my beautiful and beloved troglodytes? Today we're going to be playing Elden Ring as like a magic guy. We're going to be a sorcerer, woohoo! Because you know, wizards have swag and they're actually really cool. And also, yeah, the title, whatever. How OP is magic in Elden Ring, woohoo! And as the wise man once said, let's get to it. This is what my character ended up looking like. Dave Wizard Jr., son of Dave Wizard. Who's Dave Wizard? I could not tell you, my beloved troglodytes. But what I could tell you is that this run started like every single other Elden Ring run ever. You pick up the finger, then you jump off the cliff. And for some bizarre reason, killing yourself takes you to Limgrave. Hey look, it's the church that I physically can't stop myself from mentioning. Please send help. Hey look, Melly's here, and you know what she gave me? She gave me Torrent, like every single other Elden Ring run. Fort Hyde snakes. And what happens in Fort Hyde? Absolutely nothing. I grabbed the medallion, but I do unfortunately pass away. I also grabbed the tears that are in the area, but they're not really that good or important. They're on screen if you really care that much. I also picked up the Axe Talisman, but unfortunately I have absolutely no use for it this run, which is kind of heartbreaking, saying it is kind of like a child to me. I do pick up my Wondrous Physic, and the Tear of Miracle that's here. And instead of going my usual route, I decided I was heading straight to Caelid, where Melly did stop me, and she did kind of kidnap me and take me to the Round Table Hold, where I did immediately leave. I also quickly backtracked and spoke to Roderica, because I thought I needed a stone sword key, and you know there's one next to it. I then headed back to Caelid so I could get my grubby little fingers on the meteor staff, because that shit is so goated early game. Right, if you ever do a sorcery build, my beloved trogs, you have to fucking use this staff. It is so good. You could actually just use this shit for the entire game. It's so good. And it doesn't need to be upgraded, like, at all. Like, it starts off with, like, an S, like, tier fucking scaling in intelligence. It is so good. My goat. And you know what's even crazier? What I believe to be the best spell in the entirety of Elden Ring, from just utility and like how usable it is and how easy it is to find with like the lowest fucking MP requirement ever. Just Rock Sling's just fucking right next to it. It's just like right here. Look, it's here. I did think you needed a key to get it, but you know, I was wrong because I'm an idiot, but oh my god, I love this spell. Anyway, how about we do something a little bit more important? Hey look, a mystical magical portal. I wonder where this could possibly lead. It led to Garank, of course. Hello Garank, how are you doing, Garank? My favorite reoccurring character. I died to a little guy, little militiaman, because I looked away for 5 seconds. And then I did actually just go do the parkour at the side of Garank's septum. It's not septum, that's the piercing. Sanctum, is that the word? It's probably Sanctum. So I could go get the Dragon Crest Shield Talisman, because as far as early game, you know, talismans go, this is one of the best, other than the Axe Talisman, which I still am bummed I can't use. Anyway, peeps, you already know the natural progression of Elden Ring now. We head straight to the ball spot. But keep your pants on just yet, my beloved troglodytes, for we are not grinding our ball. We are cheesing the Knights Cavalry, which at this point, troglodytes, I kind of have down to a science, so it was really easy. This does allow me to use the Meteor Staff with Rock Sling, which might be the best combo in this entire game as far as spells are concerned. And I personally think that the best use for my newfound power is to go bully Margot. Transition? One thing I also didn't mention about this spell is that it carries on casting even if you get hit. And also that fight was, I'd say, fairly easy. It did look close, but that's just because I didn't have many healing flasks to start off with. Hey, but that does mean that it is Stormveil time. And as always, the gate guy's here, and you'll never guess what he does. If you guessed on the gate, you would be absolutely correct. Stormveil, nothing much happens here. You get to a point where you've played this game so much, where you kind of can just run past everything here and ignore it. But if you didn't know, you can actually use the liftless in this room and skip a pretty sizable chunk of Stormveil. For this information, please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me get a bit meta with you here, trogs. Making little like jokes like that where I'm like saying something like YouTubery kind of makes me giggle in real life. And hey, would you look at that? That shameless plugging took so long that we've actually made it to outside of Godric's arena, where unfortunately I ended up running out of mana before the end of the fight, so I kind of just accepted my fate and passed away. But then, my beloved troglodytes, this happened. Transition. Well, wasn't that an extraordinarily easy fight? Now let me shoot in a little Big Don Tom fact here. My second most played game of all time other than Elden Ring is actually Terraria. I absolutely love Terraria. But hey, with Godric dead, that means we can finally go to the Liurnia of the Lakes. First things first, we grab the TLS, in the church, because it's, right here at the start of the Liurnia of the Lakes. And then we carry on until we find this mystical, magical portal, which leads us to a sick-ass shortcut that I'm about to show you, my beloved Trogs. You can just jump off of, the bridge, land on this rock, and go wherever you want. Personally, I use this shortcut to go get the key, that's, in between the dragon's legs. And then suddenly my brain thought started wrinkling, and I remembered the Weeping Peninsula exists. So I headed straight there, because I wanted to go murder a tree. Why am I murdering this tree, you ask? So I can get my two favorite tiers in the game, the Opaline Bubble tier and the Crimson Burst tier. Because who can really argue with some natural regeneration? Peeps, don't worry about it, I did go get the two tiers that are in the Weeping Peninsula. Anyway, with that very arguably important side quest out of the way, it's finally time for us to head to the Academy of Raya Lucaria, where I fucking hate it here. I'm not even gonna fucking sugarcoat it. These two bastards on the fucking stairs just kept going pew 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 at me, and it was really fucking annoying. It was very hard to get past them. I mean, I did it eventually, but fuck these guys. And then I got to the Fox, and the Fox is a filler boss, and I definitely didn't die to him 5 fucking times. You're telling me I struggled with the Red Wolf of fucking Radahn? Honestly, I was this close to fucking binning this run after this, because there is no way I get humiliated by this foxy fuck. But at last, unfortunately for the Red Wolf of Radahn, he is a filler boss, and I do end up killing him in the end. And then I decided it would be a great idea to go get completely and utterly sidetracked yet again. I go find the Radagon's icon, which quite frankly is a mid-ass talisman anyway, and I really didn't use it very much. It's meant to decrease the time it takes to cast a spell, but it's such a negligible amount that I didn't really feel it or notice it. And while I was out doing a little bit of tomfoolery, I also came across this comet spell. I also got this Graven talisman, I think it's the School Graven talisman, which boosts the damage that spells do, sorceries, whatever the fuck they're called in this game, I really couldn't give a shit, by about 4%, so thumbs up, I think it's pretty good. But anyway, that's enough horsing around, let's go kill Moongrim, which was actually surprisingly easy. I thought his shield would be able to magic counter my little projectiles or whatever, but he just didn't, he just couldn't be asked today, so it was really, he's dead now, look at him. Hey, would you look at that, we can go fight Ranni now. This fight was fucking awful, I died, if you can't tell by the fact I haven't just immediately cut to it. I did not have fun, I felt my death, it made me not want to fucking play Elden Ring, to be honest with you lads. Unless there's the 2% of you that are women, I do see you. So I decided I was going to do something better with my time, and I was going to go admire some fingers, but they were a little creepy. And because I needed to cleanse my eyes after that absolutely disgusting show of fingers, I went and I talked to Raya the Scout. Raya the Scout then told me to go kill the Prawn Man, and if she knew absolutely anything about me, she would have known that I would never kill the Prawn Man. Unfortunately, I'm a broke little bitch, so I couldn't buy any prawns, but fortunately, this did give me an excuse to go grind my ball. For more information, Google Wizard grinds his magic orb. And the second I got some bread in my account, I went straight back to the Prawn Man where I stocked up on some prawns. I also gave Raya her necklace back or whatever. And while I was stopping by, all the familiar faces, all the quirky little characters in these videos, I decided I was going to go say hi to my main man Vase, of Array if you don't know him like I do. Anyway, how about we do something actually productive and I go to Fort Faram for one reason and one reason only, to go grab the medallion and immediately leave. And I wonder for what purpose I could have needed the medallion for. To go to the Bellum Highway. But the first thing I do, obviously, is pick up the TLS here. And hey, would you look at that, there's a little lift here. I wonder where this could possibly go. It goes to Altar's Plateau, where Raya the Scout is just waiting for me, because she wants to take me back to her house, Volcano Manor. So she grabs my hand, which granted does make me blush a little bit. And obviously, then I pull up in Volcano Manor, where the first thing I do is lie to Tanif's face. But anyway, then I head back to Altar's Plateau, because I'm not ready for Volcano Manor yet, where I go through this magical, mystical portal. Anyway, peeps, the real reason I'm in Altar's Plateau is because I need to go kill Mr. Beast. Because you remember Vase, yeah, he asked me to kill Mr. Beast, and who am I to deny him and his wishes? And quite frankly, the Mr. Beast fight was pretty easy. I just kind of spammed rocks and he fell over and died, so I mean, who would have guessed hitting a man over the head with a rock would kill him? I then went back to Vase and he was very happy with my work. So happy, in fact, he gave me another job. He told me to go get the blood of a maiden. I didn't really question it, but in retrospect, bit of a weird ask. So I go through this mystical magical portal and end up back in the starter area, the Church of Anticipation, where I killed this creature thing. It died instantly, no need to think about it. And I went and got the blood from my original maiden. We actually got some use out of her. I yet again went back to Vase and he was extraordinarily happy with my work. He was so happy, in fact, that he grabbed my hand and broke my finger, which is exactly what I wanted, because now I'm in his little weird cult thing. He gave me this teleport thing and told me not to teleport, so obviously I immediately teleported because I don't listen to no man. And for some reason this took me to Mogwin's palace, and because the range on rock sling is absolutely insane, I could actually grind the bird. After I got my bread up and I got my level up a little bit, I decided it's finally time for us to go fight Ranni again. Transition. In my notes, I specifically said that this fight felt cool, but like watching it back, I was just spamming the same attack, so I don't know if I was just in a really good mood while recording, or it was actually kind of cool feeling to fight, but hey. I then went back to the round table hall so I could speak to this old woman so she could give me my talisman pouch. You know what I think it's time for? I think it's time that we head straight back to Caelid, because we clearly haven't had enough of Caelid yet, have we? Anyway, I came to Caelid with a devious little plan. I head to this little town because you could light all the lights in this little town, and that opens like this doorway so you can get Knight's Comet, which is probably one of the best spells, other than Rock Sling. And also, Radahn can't actually dodge this one or parry it, so just keep that in mind if you ever do a sorcery build. I found this goofy little scarab that I used for maybe 20 minutes, and I also got the Staff of Loss, because if you didn't know, you can actually offhand a staff and still get like the bonus from it. I also fought this boss, but I wouldn't even classify them as a boss because they were so easy and died so quick, but there was a pretty cool staff behind them, which I cannot even begin to pronounce the name of, so we're just going to call it the staff. Basically, it costs more MP, but everything does like more damage. I then headed back to the Academy of Raya Lucaria because there was a very specific helmet I wanted, but unfortunately I did die on my journey. I'm gonna be so honest with you, Trogs, this journey was like so complicated I couldn't even begin to like explain it to you. If you ever try and get this item, just use the tutorial online. This shit is not worth trying to figure out on your own. But anyway, look, I got the helmet, the Twin Sage helmet, whatever the fuck it's called. Boosts intelligence by like 7, that's literally the only reason I wanted it. But hey, we can go to Lindell Royal Capital now, woohoo! But first things first, I pick up all the seeds that are here because there's just a bunch of fucking seeds on these stairs. And baby Margaret was there. Keyword is was because he's dead now because I killed him. I did get the stamina talisman like every fucking run, but I literally don't use it, so I don't even really need to mention it. But it's on screen just in case you need to know my troglodytes. The real reason I came here was because I wanted to see my crab man, because I wanted to buy some crab off the crab man. Because I decided the next thing that we were going to do was go to Redmane Castle, because we're going to go fight Radahn. And you know what that means, my beautiful and beloved troglodytes. It's time for the Radahn Festival. We have a woman who's definitely real and not a doll. Blythe the Half-Wolf Warrior, my goat. And Alexander Warrior Jar, my absolute favorite, the pinnacle of character design. And don't worry, troglodytes, I did grab the Somberstone 5-less here. And then it was finally time for me to go actually fight Radahn. But unfortunately, I did die once, and I think this death was kind of bullshit. I don't think I was in range of that. And as you probably could have guessed, I did not give up. And I gave it one more attempt, and well, my beloved troglodytes, this happened. Transition. I actually enjoyed that fight because, you know, a lot of his attacks are very well telegraphed, so there's quite a lot of openings to actually cast spells. And with him also having gravity magic, it kind of felt like a gravity mage-like fight-off. So this is actually going to give some plus points to, you know, the mage build. And don't worry, I didn't forget to say goodbye to Blythe and the Jari boy before I left. And then immediately headed to EG, where I said, you know, hi to him, because we like EG on the Big Don Tom channel. But the real reason I was in this area is because I wanted to enter Carian Manor, because I had some devious little schemes brewing. Carian Manor, I just ran through, nothing really happened, you know, it's just Carian Manor. There was Loretta, I like Loretta. Loretta's dead now. I did get a spell off of her, Loretta's Grey Bow, whatever it's called, but yeah, I don't really use it much. I think I use it once, maybe twice. And obviously I'm here for Ranni the Witch. I'm sure that doesn't shock a single one of you. I talk to her, she makes me talk to some fellas. Like EG, I like talking to EG. Blythe wasn't here for some reason, but there was this creepy fellow who I didn't want to talk to, but he, you know, forced me to talk to him. I then went back to the round table hold so I could wait for Rod Jer to die so I could steal his entire fit. His body was still warm and I still stole his entire fit. I then decided I wanted to enter Radahn's hole, where unfortunately I did immediately pass away. But you know who else passed away? The Mimic tier. Yeah, he didn't even stand a single chance. You know the Ranni questline at this point. I took the weird little secret path so I could get like the fingerprint slayer blade. And then I returned to Ranni and just gave it her, and she was like, piss off, you've done enough now, I don't fucking need you anymore, get out of my life. So I decided it was time to head back to Lindell Royal Capital, where the Tree Sentinel was there. But unfortunately, he is a filler boss and was super duper easy, so his fight's getting completely cut. At least Melly was very happy with my work. She seemed pretty happy. She must have really hated the Tree Sentinel. But on the topic of trees, did you know there's a tree in Lindell Royal Capital that if you kill it, it gives you a rune worth 50k runes? Thank you, Miyazaki. And now, what's the one reason someone would come to Lindell Royal Capital? That's exactly right, we're gonna go kill Goldfrey. Transition. Well, wasn't that extremely easy? No other comments, it was just extremely easy. Then I arbitrarily decided that I don't have enough intelligence. So I wanted to get a sneaky little talisman, you know, buff my intelligence a little bit. So I headed to this, like, inverted tower bullshit. My little statue there inverted the tower, whatever the fuck, is complicated. I ran through it, nothing really happened. I did just snipe the shit out of this guy and he died. And it was a pretty clean run all the way to the end. There was a god skin there. Was is the key word. I did manage to murder him pretty easily. And there it was on Ranni's dead body, next to the Rune of Death, the Stargazer's talisman, buffs intelligence. I then decided that I was going to do a little bit of bird grinding, so I could go to EG and I could go upgrade my shit. And then I decided it was time for us to go to Volcano Manor. I'm going to be so real with you troglodytes. I've left the editing till last minute. It's 5 in the morning. I'm so fucking tired. So I'm going to cut all of Volcano Manor, except, you know, getting the Somber Stone 7, because it's like the only reason I came here. If you want to see me go through all this bullshit, watch literally any other video. I don't think it really matters that much. I also got Somber Stones 8 and 9 in Caleb. They're basically right next to each other. Then I headed back to Mogwin's Palace so I could go get the Somber 10 last lair. Because believe it or not, it's really incredibly easy to get a weapon to plus 10 in Elden Ring. Anyway, that's enough tomfoolery. I think it's about time we get back to the important parts of Elden Ring. Like making really corny jokes like this. Hey look, it's the first time an Elden Ring player has been in someone else's bedroom. No, that's definitely enough dilly-dallying. I think it's time we go fight Margot. And, you know, obligatory shot Margot's feet and then, you know, transition. This build's actually pretty solid, you know, with the offhanded staff giving like the bonus and bullshit, and a really high intelligence stat, I am doing a very big amount of damage. But unfortunately for us, the tree did deny my access. But Melly told me I had to go to the Mountaintops of the Giants. So that's exactly what I did. There was a door, then a lift, then a talisman, then a lift, then the Forbidden Lands. Then I hoisted my secret medallion and got to the Mountaintops of the Giants. And now what's the first thing you do when you go to the Mountaintops of the Giants? You go to Castle Sol and hit a sick-ass shortcut. Because who actually wants to play Elden Ring where you can just exploit your way to the end? I also quickly picked up some bewitching branches. Anyway, let's go kill Commander Neil. After you beat this boss a certain amount of times, it becomes really easy because most of his attacks are very telegraphed, or he always does them in a very certain order. So I didn't really struggle and I did first try him. Anyway, you all know the real reason we came to this castle. So you go get half the secret medallion. And because I am a completionist, I decided to go to the Albinauric village so I could go get the other half of the secret medallion. And of course, then I immediately used them because I didn't just gather them because I think they look pretty. Which led to the secret path to the Haley tree, which led to a very foggy area. which led to a slightly less foggy area. And I actually had a reason for coming here other than actually getting to the Halig tree, and that's the Albineric Tower. Because for some reason, if you make two little gnoblins, what are they called? For some reason, if you make two imps fight here, you can just like get inside this tower and get the Graven Mass Grave Talisman, or whatever the fuck it's called. And you already know that after doing all that bullshit, we went to the quaint little town, so I could enter the Everjail. So I could go light all 4 of the lights, which was really easy, because, you know, ranged attacks just make everything a little easier. This unlocked a magical, mystical portal, and I wonder where that could possibly lead. To the Halig tree, that's where. Kind of just walk past everything and nothing really happens. I do eventually make it to this lift, where it's time for me to go fight Loretta. Loretta killed me 3 times, and I'm calling bullshit on every single one of these deaths. But you know, she is a filler boss, and I do win in the end, so look at her, she's dead now. And that means I can carry on through the Halig tree, where nothing really interesting happens yet again. But there is a pretty neat shortcut just to save you a little bit of time. You can just jump off here and like land, like try and land on the base of the tree, I've noticed, because sometimes the fall damage can actually just kill you. And of course I'm going to mention the poison swamp, because why would I take that pleasure away from Miyazaki? Yada yada, some bullshit happens, but we do make it to the talisman in the end, and I do, you know, pick that shit up, obviously. It's the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, and it's like the best for, you know, like physical damage negation in the game. Hey, but would you look at that, we can actually head back to the Mountaintops of the Giants now, where first things first, I pick up this Tear of America. I've also noticed that NPCs aren't very good at dodging the Rock Sling spell. So when I actually went and fought the Blood guy, he died really easily, which allowed me to get the Tear of America behind him. Anyway, CIA, do you need a new torture method? Well, I found one for you. Make them fight the Fire Giant, but when they're just about to win, keep killing them. I think that's enough to get any man to crack, or at least drive them insane. Because it happened to me 4 fucking times. I hate the Fire Giant. And after what I can only describe as mental torture, I decided I deserved a little bit of a respite, a little bit of something I actually enjoy doing. So I went and I talked to Selim, and then I bought a telescope, and then I came back and zoomed in on her feet. And now I'm cured of my depression. I went and fought the Fire Giant again, where I immediately beat his ass. Because the Fire Giant is such a long, arduous fight, I'm going to save your time here, and I'm going to show you the entire thing. Unfortunately, though, Melly did have to sit through the Fire Giant fight. And in what I can only describe as a completely reasonable reaction, she set herself on fire so she'd never have to suffer through it again. But Miyazaki then had pity on my soul and decided that because of her sacrifice, I got to go to Farmer Azula. This is where I realized I was an idiot and I never equipped the better damage negation talisman. Anyway, my beloved troglodytes, peep this sick-ass shortcut. You can like just roll off of here and like land here, and you can get to the Godskin Duo even quicker. And on the topic of the Godskin Duo, how about we go put them motherfuckers down? Transition. Nothing quite puts a smile on my face like watching the light go over the Godskin Duo's eyes. And we first tried him as well, so I didn't even have to suffer for it. But hey, that does mean we can carry on running through Farmer Azula. And oh lord, I hate this place. But hey, look, there's the Tree Sentinel. He's dead now, I killed him. And hey, would you look at that, it's time for us to go fight Maliketh, where I do unfortunately die a single time. I also go get the Holy Damage Negation Talisman, because you know he does holy damage. Then something quirky and transition. The more I actually play as this mage build and the more I actually get used to it, the more fun it's actually becoming. Because, you know, I get the timings down better and I know how long it like takes to cast and I know my range and stuff. But hey, the Rune of Death is unbound now and the capital is a little ashy. And you know who's in the ashen capital, my beloved troglodytes? Sir Gideon Orfnir. Holy filler boss, he did not stand a chance. He died almost immediately. I'm pretty sure he had a heart attack just at the sight of me. Hey look, it's the second ever time an Elden Ring player's ever entered someone's bedroom. But always look on the bright side of life, my beloved troglodytes, because we actually get to fight a pretty cool boss next. I may even go as far to say my favorite boss in the entirety of Elden Ring, Godfrey. Transition. And just like that, my beloved troglodytes, there is absolutely nothing between us and the final boss of Elden Ring. Well, there is one thing between us and the final boss of Elden Ring, and it's my massive skill issue. I died 4 times to Radahn and the Elden Beast. But then, my beloved troglodytes, this happened. Transition. Yippee, I finally beat Elden Ring, woohoo. As fun as this build was at points, magic is definitely not my playstyle. I didn't really enjoy myself as much as using like just a normal sword. But you know, it's something new. It's like a cool new way to experience Elden Ring, woohoo. It's something different from my favorite game, woohoo. The Elden Beast was actually really easy. Hey, it's the part of the video with the nerd stats, woohoo. Game took me about 7.5 hours to beat, which isn't that bad saying it was like a whole new build that I've never done before. Here's all my equipment that I used by the end of the game, you know, all like the talismans and whatnot. And this is what, you know, my stats look like by the end of the game. Slightly higher level than usual, but I did do a lot of grinding because, you know, the high intelligence ceiling. And well, Troglodyte, as always, it's been a pleasure. And Lord, I need to get a better schedule for editing. It is 7 in the morning. I've been editing since I got home from my real job yesterday. I need to manage my time better. Holy shit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if you have, but you've watched this point, so I hope you have. Please like, subscribe, and comment, please. I'm literally begging. Watch the roads and don't die. Godspeed.